Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to ICAI's live coaching classes. And my name is Prachikar. I hope and I'm sure most of you know me who will be attending the class today. And today you have a last session with me, and we will be doing chapter number 11, writing formal mails or emails, you can say. Right. So how are you all doing? I hope during this pandemic you all are keeping safe, you all are taking care of yourself, you all are taking care of your family members, you are all taking the necessary precautions. In most of the states we have now the lockdown and the curfew situation, and I think we should all follow the rules and stay at home because that is the most important thing right now. And for you all, while staying at home, prepare for your exams well. You have enough time now to prepare for your exams because now you don't have any distraction to go out and meet anyone or go visit any market or something. So I think utilize your time, focus on these classes, watch them again, redo your concepts, and just make yourself perfect. I think this is the best time. You can just utilize your time so effectively that is going to help you in the long run. So I hope you all are doing that, and if you're not doing it, please do it. I don't think you will get the better time than this this time period ever, right? So yes, so articles, first of all I would like to appreciate, and I would like to thank the students who have actually taken who have actually taken the efforts to send me the articles. I have gone through them. I will be uploading the answers by today. uh, some were good, some were lacking with few things. So I've written my comments and what you can do about it and how you can work it over. I think we will be uploading the sheets after checking on the website only. So I'm not sure, maybe you all can see them, and so that you can also learn from the mistakes. Like why do I always ask you questions and why I always discuss them online? Because I want you to hear other thoughts and learn from them. It is kind of a teamwork. When we're working together, we get a lot of ideas, and we can learn from each other's mistake, and we can avoid those mistakes when we are writing the article. So there were some students who have sent me, but not everyone. There are students who have been asking me in the query list, ma'am, can we send you the article? Can we send you article? And I have not received their articles yet. Today is 27th, and I think on the email that was sent to you, the last date was 26th. But despite of that, even though even if you want to send it to me now, please do so. I would be more than happy to check. Do send me the articles if you want to, and I can. And there was one student who was actually gone an extra mile, and he wrote article on a different topic, and he wanted to get it checked by me. So I really appreciate his efforts. I really appreciate that he took this initiative of sending me the article. So you will be getting your answer responses by after checking. You will be receiving it by evening, right? So are you ready for today's class? Is there any problem that you want to ask, any question that you want to ask me for? Prajwala, that session is already on the YouTube. You can check the upload. That the session of vocabulary that you are asking me, that is there on YouTube, so you can check. The entire chapter has been completed in the three sections. So the third section has already been uploaded, so you can just check and just go through your concepts through that. Okay, there's just one student who's asked me a very different question, so I will take it up right now because that is not related to the chapters or not related to the subject also. So somebody's asked me that, are these, I've not got your question completely, Pratyusha, but what I've understood is that if you're asking me that, are these online classes enough for you? I think yes. Rest totally depends on your hard work and your effort, also how much you put into each subject. But I think these classes have been conducted by professionals, uh, pretty learned people. They are experts. So if you just listen to them carefully, all of them, if you listen to them carefully, I think these online classes should be enough. Rest totally depends on how much you practice and how much you grasp the concept well and how much you work towards it. So I think rest totally depends on you. You don't need coaching classes for this. I mean, totally your call, but yes, we feel that online classes should be enough, right? And rest is your hard work, how much you do it at home. All right, so let's start with today's session. Okay, so today's session is about writing formal emails. Now, what are emails? Who will tell me? Now, I think emails are part of everyone's life. It's a very essential and a crucial part of everybody's life. So, what is an email? Who will tell me this? What do we understand? What is the basic understanding do we have about emails? Anyone who can just send it to me in the query box. Is there anyone who would like to respond and tell me what email is? Sorry, sir. सर मुझे आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. What small है तो आप फिर उसको कर दीजिए सर एडजस्ट. मेरी साइड से छोटा है. सर मेरी साइड से तो फुल स्क्रीन है. Oh, okay. All right, got it. Now it's fine. आप ठीक है ना? Okay. Right. So yes, I have received some responses. Okay, electronic form of mail. Okay, Prashant, you can just send me one time response. I read it. You don't have to send me 3-4 times the same thing. I read everything that has been sent to me, so don't worry. Okay, so let's just talk about the basic. Email is electronic mail. Okay. Now, electronic emails, ever since the internet has come and ever since that, this method of communication has been, discovered, life has changed and, everything has changed. Now you can reach to anybody across this, world. You can just, everybody is just a click away now, right? You can just connect with everyone. So electronic emails has been a revolutionary step, a revolutionary, discovery of communication, right? And this type of communication, this method of communication is used for every kind of communication. It is used for formal, it is used for informal communications, it is used for semi-formal. I will come on to the definition of all these separately. But what I'm trying to say here is that electronic email is something that is used for the communication when you're having a formal communication within an organization, or you are talking to somebody related to your work. And you're talking to somebody in the organization, some department, or you're talking to your boss, you're talking to your colleague. So you use a formal, you use emails, right, for the formal ways. For the informal, you have any friends, relatives staying across, staying in US or Europe or Australia, you can connect them through emails these days, right? And semi-formal is the communication where you don't have to be too formal and you don't have to be informal also. For example, when you're talking to your colleague, right? Maybe you two people are working on the same project and they want to have a communication and they want to discuss something. So their communication or their language will not be too formal, but not, it can't be casual also, because again, you are talking to somebody in an organization, right? So you can be a bit semi-formal depending on your comfort zone with the person, right? Besides that, you use the semi-formal language, right? So now this is used everywhere. Now our lives revolve around this, right? I'm sure all of us have like two email IDs, two or three email IDs. I have three email IDs. So we have so many email IDs, and we connect because of emails. We are also these days connected to social media. You can't have a social media account without an email, right? Can you? No, you cannot, right? Or maybe these days we have an option of phone numbers also, but yes, of course, email is a must for everything. You open any website, they ask, the first question they ask is email address. Just fill in your email address. So there's so many things that revolve, and this is why emails have become part of our lives now, right? Our parents have email IDs, probably our grandparents have email IDs, everybody has email IDs, right? Because again, we need to move along with the time. Now, if you know, the traditional method of communication, and which still exists, was letters, right? Yes. Now, how people move from letters to emails, and why did they move? How and why, right? Now, do you have answers for these? Can you tell me that why would you prefer emails over letters? Or would you prefer letters? Soumya, you can send me the article. Don't worry. So why do you think people moved from, letter writing to email writing? And why everybody wants to get used to of it? Because letters take a lot of time, right? And not everywhere letters, it was a suitable mode of communication, or so method of communication. If I want to write a letter to somebody in US, maybe I have a client in US and I want to work and I want to send some documents. Yes, yes, it's faster, of course it's faster. So first of all, I'll have to get my documents ready, right? Then I have to send them through couriers, or maybe speed post or something. For first thing, it's chargeable, right? Then it takes a lot of time to reach, right? I might have something very urgent, and for that urgent I have to pay even more, right? But then it will still take some time. But emails is faster. Emails, I can just attach everything. I can, put my documents together, attach, and send it. The person in the next 1 minute, or maybe after some seconds, few seconds, the person will receive my documents, right? I don't have to wait for days and days and days, right? So this is a more feasible option now, by all means, right? And it is also economical. I mean, provided you also have internet connection, right? You don't have to pay. Now these couriers are also very expensive, right? But email, it, in comparison to this, it can be, if you have you're sending documents every day, and every day you have to pay for speed post couriers. There are people who every day there's like huge packets of documents going, right? Now they can just send it by emails, right? uh, Okay, okay. I appreciate your responses, that why emails over letters. One is faster. Anjal, very good point. Anjal has mentioned that there's no third medium involved. I would say there's no third party involved, right? It's just you and your client. The documents are not going anywhere else. It is not even going to the courier person or to the speed post, right? It is directly from you. It is reaching to the client or whomsoever you want to send it. No third party involved. Good, Sudesh. Priya, I have no idea about this technical questions. Please contact somebody at ICI. They would be able to help you. I have no idea about declaration forms and how to go about it. Or either write an email. I'm sure the email IDs are available on the websites. So to write an email to the concerned person, I'm sure they'll get back to you. This is why emails are for, and this is what I'm teaching you right now, right? Is to use that. Surfaraz, I'll do that. Okay. So are we clear till here? Right. Now let's talk about what email writing comprises of. You know, how this entire, what is the kind of process that is involved, and what are other things that are involved in email writing, right? So it is a method of composing, sending, storing, receiving. Okay. Now, the process involves composing. Composing is when you compose a message, right? When you write your, content, what you need to send to the other person, right? Then it's sending. You have to send it also, right? And for sending, you need to have other person's correct email ID. Okay. Whenever you are sending an email, please, please, please recheck the ID, right? Half of the times when we are in rush, or maybe because of typing error, we tend to write the wrong email ID and the person doesn't get our emails, right? It just bounces back, right? So you need to have a correct email ID, and please check before sending, right? Now, storing is a very important thing, and it's a very, it's a very good way. So I'll tell you personally also, I store so many things on my emails, right? One, emails are handy. I can just open my emails anywhere, right? So if my documents or if my important things are stored in emails, I can just use them anywhere. I can just open, go through them, and I'm done, right? So it's a very good way of storing. Of course, there is a storage, there's some technical thing about storage, but again, for the normal person, whatever storage, any Google or Hotmail or whatever they provide is enough, right? So whatever emails you are getting, you can just store them there, right? And you can use them. I might have emails from 2011, 10, 8. So I have all my emails right there. I can just open any of my assignments, any of my communication that was done with my teachers or anyone, right? So storing is a good way. In case of letters, you have to maintain that those files, whatever communication that you had with anybody, any department, you had to, keep those papers very safely, right? And the papers are never safe, right? It could be, they could, they can just get lost and destroyed by any calamity or any situation, right? So it's a very good way of storing it and receiving, of course. If you're sending something, you will be receiving something also, right? So sending, receiving, composing, and storing, these are like, four components of emails, right? How the method is involved, right? All right, so are we clear till here? Can I move on? Yes. Okay. Now, so email can be used, like I just told you, you can in so many ways email can be used. You can use emails for the internal communication, right? Externally to other other people or other organizations, or people that are part of other institutions, organizations, departments, your clients, whomsoever you want to, right? And this method is of course fast, immediate, I told you, and this everybody knows. I am just reinforcing this. And but what is the beauty of email writing? Now, email writing actually allows you to interact and seek and share information with all kinds of people, right? You can just connect with anybody and everybody on email: suppliers, customers, colleagues, friends, relatives. There's so many people. It just connects you with so many people, and you can have and you can get so much of information. You can just talk to them. If you don't want to talk to somebody on phone, you can just send them an email, right? Probably if there's someone that you need to talk to has a time difference with you wherever you are, you can just write an email, right? Whatever you're feeling and whatever you want to say and whatever you want to ask. So email is a good way of now communication. It connects you, right? And of course it connects you with people within and beyond the national boundaries. Email just connects you with everyone on the globe. You can send an email to anybody. Okay, now let's come to the very significant part, and which is my favorite part: the language used, the style, right? Used in emails, right? Uh, you are writing email to anybody, like anybody. Please try to use good vocabulary and good language, right? You cannot go wrong with your language. You can't take your language leniently, you cannot take your vocabulary leniently. You can't start using text messages. It is not a good way. I do not even recommend it, even if you are having an informal communication, right? So the language has to be proper, okay, and grammatically right. Grammatically right or correct, okay? You should use good vocabulary. You can use simple vocabulary, that's fine, but try to use good vocabulary. I'll tell you why I'm suggesting this good vocabulary. If you're having a formal communication, if you're talking to somebody, talking to your client, supplier, I mean whomsoever, formally, it creates a good impression, right? But if you're using a good vocabulary, even if it's an informal communication with your friend, one, it makes your communication good and interesting. Second, it will make you comfortable using the words formally also. Once you use the words informally with your friends and relatives and family, you will get comfortable using it formally also. So take it as a kind of a good practice. So please make sure that you use, I mean, you take care of these things. Proper grammatical and proper language to be used, grammatically correct and right. There is no excuse of using a wrong English, right? Good vocabulary, you can use it simple, but use it good vocabulary, right? And of course, when you're having a formal communication, you can use good jargon words, and you can use the words that are related to your field. You know that the person will understand. But otherwise, even a simple languages, simple words is good, right? Yes, right? Okay. Next is, like I told you, that there are three types of emails that you can write. One is informal, formal, then you have semi-formal, and then you have informal, right? The language, what makes it different? How the formal, semi-formal, and formal emails are different from each other. They are just different in terms of how you use the language, right? Of course, content also matters, right? But besides content, the language used and the style, the way it is written, right? Okay, now this one will be quite formal, the language, right? This one will have a little bit of friendly language, and in this one there are no rules as such, right? You don't have to follow any rule for informal communication. Like I just said, the only thing is there is no excuse of using wrong English, right? So use your language correctly, but otherwise you can write the way you want to write it. All right. In both these cases, the purpose should be clear, right? And you should know what you're going to talk to the other person. In this one, the content is quite precise, formal, right? Why content is precise? Because again, you are writing an email to somebody related to your work, related to your business, and you want to get through, you want to get something done, right? And the other person doesn't know you, you don't know that person very well. So whatever email you write, it should be very clear, and whatever you want to say, the content should be very precise. You should be able to get your point across, right? You don't have to write unnecessary things. You need to get straight to the point and say that why you are writing this email, right? Why you want to be connected to that other person. Am I clear? Yes. Any problem so far? Okay. In semi formal, it should be the clear purpose should be clear. You can use a friendly language, but a decorum has to be maintained. Now, where do you use semi-formal emails? Semi-formal emails are usually used when you are talking to somebody within your team. You're talking to your colleagues, you're talking to somebody, any of your colleagues in your business. So you are not very formal with them, but you're not even informal with them, right? So when you're talking, when you're having a conversation related to your work, you can't have an informal communication, right? Somewhere you're very serious about your work, but of course, depending on the comfort level, you start talking in a semi-formal language, right? You start writing semi-formal emails, right? But the language is not supposed to be loose, it is not supposed to go haywire. The purpose should be very clear, the decorum has to be maintained so that the relations are maintained, right? Now in informal languages, you can just do whatever you want to. There's no particular style of writing. uh, of course you, if you're writing an email, you need to have a purpose. The purpose can be anything. You need to define that purpose for yourself. Purpose has to be there. There are no rules. You still have liberties of using some slangs and some abbreviations here, but not much. Okay, here no slangs and no abbreviations. Okay, try to avoid contractions also. Now, what are contractions? Instead of don't, try to use do not. Instead of can't, try to use cannot. I'm not saying using contractions is wrong, but using these proper words are better, always better. Okay, these are small things that makes your language better. So take care of these things. So are we clear till here before I move on to the components of email writing? Okay, any problems? Otherwise, I'll move ahead. This PPT has already been uploaded on the portal, so you can download from there. But let me just quickly take you through I'm just going to brush up what I have already taught you. Uh, Okay, email writing required certain skills being a professional setup. So whenever you are writing an email, writing in a professional setup, there's certain skills, that certain things that you need to take care of, that we will be learning about in the as the chapter proceeds. Essential not to commit mistakes. I will be taking up the kind of mistakes people do, and we should not do it, right? So whenever you're writing a formal email, there is no space for the mistakes. Mistakes do not create a good impression. What do you mean by mistakes? Mistakes such as, the grammatical mistake, right? The spelling mistake. These are small things that create impression on the other person. So if you're not taking care of these small things, you might, not create a good impression. So I'm not talking about like a big mistake, like for example, you sent a wrong document. That's separate. That still can be manageable at times, not every time. You have sent any okay, sometimes people send the email to the wrong person. Again, that is a no mistake. Maybe there are certain times you're writing a confidential email and you have sent it to somebody else, right? This is again a mistake. Writing wrong email IDs, right? So for example, you need to send a document to 5 people in your team, right? And 4 email IDs are correct and 1 is incorrect. Again, it's not right, right? 4 people will receive an email, the one person will not receive an email, and you will not even know, right? And you might know because of delivery status, no non-delivery status. But again, this is not a good idea. Again, you have to send an email. It doesn't create a good impression. It just shows that you were not serious about sending your email. Vital aspect of business communication, yes. Now these days, entire communication is on email, right? Every formal, every business communication is on email. Everybody uses email these days, right? Even a small vendor in markets, they use, right? Now, formal email is the right choice for some business situations. When you're sending an email to someone you don't know well, or to someone in authority, now of course you use emails when you're using to somebody, and you can send an email to people whom you don't even know, right? Uh, so email writing is considered a formal way of getting in touch with someone, right? Instead of calling somebody whom you don't know, you can just write an email. The person will always take email in a good way, right? Write a good polite email, tell the person that why you want to connect this person, and if that person feels okay, the person will give you his or her number very easily, right? And then you can connect on phone. But if you do not know somebody, writing an email on the first go is a good decision. It's a good way of getting in touch with someone. So do write an email if you don't know the person, right? Authority, yes. See, if you just call somebody in a department, people will not take your call like just like this, right? People are busy. So you can just write an email, get an appointment to have a conversation with them over a phone or maybe for a meeting. So it's always again good to start from writing an email. Avoid using abbreviations, contractions, slang, emoticons, and other informal terminologies. I already told you. This is a big no no, right? This is going to give a very bad impression to anybody who's reading your email. Use complete sentences and proper grammar. I told you. The sentences have to be complete and proper grammar. Otherwise, the whatever you're trying to tell the other person, the meaning will also get lost. Okay, so you need to use a proper language. Right, now let's do a small exercise. Now there are two messages written right in front of you. Tell me which is formal and which is informal. Right, which is a better way of communication. This I'm trying to tell you in terms of the language used. Okay, so which is formal and which is informal, and why do you think formal is better, informal is better? So you, while you're reading this, you will get to know what this is all about. So tell me which is better. And tell me why you think formal is formal and why informal is informal. There's so many questions that you need to answer. Quickly tell me. Sorry. Right, Niharika, your answer is correct. Now tell me why the first one is formal and the other one is informal. Yeah, this was easy for you, everyone, to find out. Now tell me what is the difference? How do you know formal is formal and informal is informal? Good, good, good. This was not very difficult. Now come jump to the next question. My next question is that why do you think formal is, I mean, why the first one is formal and the second one is informal? In terms of language, the use of language, how do you decide which is formal and which is informal? Pretty easy. I've already told you. Formal because formal language is used. No, Mahima. There are more points to it. Okay, Soumya, you're getting there. So informal is easy to guess because there's emoticon used and there's short forms. Uh, but what else? Ankit, yes, and no shortcuts and emoticons in first one. Prashant, informal is not better because the kind of communication. So it seems like that this is the communication is happening in a school or a college, right? So it has to be a formal communication or semi-formal at least, not informal. We when we're talking in a particular organization, we need to maintain a decorum, and to maintain a decorum, you need to use the proper language. First one is formal, second one is one because Shiv Prasad, very good. Your response is good because they're full sentences, proper. Okay. Stop. Now, in the first one, first of all, there are proper sentences. Okay. Grammatically, it is right. Right. Uh, no abbreviations used or no contraction used. Right? And the message is clear. The meeting is scheduled for December 5th at 9:30 a.m. All students must attend. Your project updates are needed. So it is pretty clear. And if you see, it's a formal kind of communication. It is, the communication is floating in a school or a college or in any educational institution, right? So language has to be formal. Now, this one seems like a very informal communication, like between just two friends, right? It is not the kind of communication that can be done with the entire group of people, and it does not even sound serious, right? If you send somebody such a message, people will not even take you seriously. They might feel that you are, just casually talking. So it's a very casual language, right? And it does not even convey a proper message. Required meeting December 5th. December is also not complete, right? Required meeting December 5th. You don't require a meeting, you schedule a meeting, right? Updates needed, see are there. Why do you want to meet somebody, right? What is the agenda of the meeting? Now in this case, the agenda of meeting is clear, right? In this one, we don't know why you want to meet. It seems like a normal coffee date, right? So, and then there's an emoji here. Emoji is used here, right? So this could be okay when two friends are talking to each other, maybe depending on their comfort zone, and maybe they're just meeting in the evening for a coffee. This should be okay, but not for a formal communication. So this is not a formal way of communication. This is the formal way of communication. Clear? Yes. Yes. So now you know how to use formal language. Okay. So now let's come to the important aspect of email writing. Now let's talk about the format. All right. Now you all know how emails are. Yes. Yes, we all know how when we write an email that compose the box of composing the email looks like, right? You have a sender, from. So in from section, you have to write the sender's name or email ID, right? To is the receiver's name and email ID. So from Prachi to Shikha, right? So I am sending, I am the sender, and receiver is Shikha. So you need to write the email IDs, but at times when you write, you use some email IDs very frequently. You can just put them in your directory also, email directory, email contact list, and there you can just simply write the name and the email ID will come automatically, right? So from and to is should be clear to you. CC is carbon copy. When you want same email to be shared with other email IDs, and you want everyone to know each other, right? You all want to know who all can see this email, right? But BCC is blank carbon copy. When you want to make it name and email IDs not visible to anyone, right? You don't want others to know who else has got this document. So you use BCC, right? So are we clear till here for the four components? From to is easy. CC is when you are sharing the same email with many people, right? And you want their names and email IDs to be visible also to each other. But BCC is when you don't want the name and email IDs to be visible to any of them. Clear? Yes. Now comes the subject. Now, subject is basically the title and the reason why you're writing this letter, right? Why you are just writing this email, right? Subject is very important. Just the way title is very important in article, subject is also very important, because if your subject is not good enough to convince somebody, they might not even open your email, right, to read what it is. So your subject should be as catchy as the title of an article writing, right? So then you start with salutation. Salutation is basically whom you are addressing the email, right? So dear so and so, hello so and so. So that is the salutation part. Then comes the main body. Now, in main body, you can have paragraphs. You can have an opening paragraph, you have a closing paragraph, then you have one paragraph which talks about everything. But this is not the mandate. You can finish your email in 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, as many as you want, right? But just make sure that your email is not very long, right? You don't have to write everything. The email has to be always be short. If emails are handy, then your emails should be such the person can read it just anywhere. If you have written a 5 pages long email, I cannot just read it anywhere and everywhere. I have to concentrate, I have to sit separately and then read it. And if you want to write so much, then send it as a document, not as an email, right? I will be explaining everything step by step, but just giving you a brief of what format looks like. Then comes the closing. So you basically close it and you make a concluding statement, right? About, looking forward to hearing from you. Please let us know what you think about it. So this is a closing. You want to close so the other person writes the email to you. Your closing is very important. Your closing will decide if the person will respond back to you or not, right? Then comes the attachment part. Now, attachment is very interesting. So you need to have attachments. Now, why I'm saying is interesting is that you can just attach as many as documents you want, right? You can write, you can just attach on the entire project details also, 500 documents, 600 documents, as many as you want, videos. You can send so much, right, to anybody. So attachments is very important, but of course you have to leave a line in your email telling the reader, that receiver, that there is an attachment, and you please check the email. So don't ignore it. If you do not write a line about the attachments in your email, there are chances that the receiver doesn't even know that there is a attachment to it, and they might miss it, right? So you need to always, whenever you attach something, even a single document, you write it, right? Okay, so these are the basic components, and now I will be taking each component one by one and explaining you in the details. So shall we start with our first one? Yes. Prashant, I meant that maybe you are writing like about 2000 words. You can't write 2000 words email. That's what I meant by pages, because there are about like 400 500 words in one page of a Word document. Aryan, it's there. I've checked it myself. Okay, shall we proceed? Yes. So, anatomy of a good email, subject line, most important part of the email. Like I just told you, that your basically subject line will decide if somebody is going to read your email or not, right? Everything is there in your study material, right? So, go through your study material very carefully. That's my suggestion to you. Okay. So a good subject line can entice people to open your email to read. Now, if now good subject line, right, can entice people. By entice people, it means it forces them or convinces them to read, right? A bad subject line can land up your email in a spam or a trash, right? Spend double time while crafting the subject line. Every time you're discussing a new topic, change the subject line. So whenever now, basically, you are discussing something like, for example, the progress of a project ABC, right? We are discussing, so we are exchanging email. We are two colleagues and we are exchanging emails with the same subject line, and we know that we are discussing the progress of that project, right? But now I want to switch it to the vendors of that project, right? The status of the vendors of the project, to the status of material that is required to complete that project. So I need to change the subject line because now my emails are going to talk about something else. So whenever the topic of the email will change, the subject line will change, right? So that the person who's receiving also knows what we are talking about. Am I clear? Yes, right? Are we clear till here? Okay, now an exercise for you all. So the exercise is that, for example, you have to write an email to a vendor inquiring about the price of 1,000 pens that you need to buy from him, right? 1,000 pens yet you need to buy from one vendor, and you want a quotation, right? So normally that pen costs about like 5 rupees in the market, but of course you're going to buy 1,000 pens, so you need to have a different quotes for it, and based on that you will decide that you want to buy those pens or not, because you want to do a business of pens, right? So what will be a subject line? You're writing an email to your vendor regarding the quotation for the 1,000 pens, asking for the quotation for the of 1,000 pens, and you also want to ask how soon the person can deliver. So what will be your subject line for this email? I'll just write it here if it's not clear to you. Write an email to vendor, quotation of 1,000 pens. Okay, you want to start a new business. What will be the subject line of your email? Let's see how creative you guys are. Good, Moksh. Very, very good. And that's very prompt. Anatomy means analysis, Kunjan. If you're going to analyze each and every component in details. Quickly, we don't have so much of time. Query regarding the placement of pens? No, it is wrong English, Mahima. Okay, the best one so far is request for quotation of pens, right? And you can add 1,000 pens if you like, but you can just simply leave it pens also. Instead of request, query is also still okay. Query regarding the quotation of pens. Okay, take one more example. So this one was good exercise. Most of you got okay. Now let's start. You're writing an email to your friend in Canada, and you want to discuss the COVID situation, the COVID lockdown situation, which is India and Canada. So, what will be the subject line of your email? You are right. Don't use the word need in the subject line. I mean, you are going to have a business deal. Why need? You can use the word inquiry, query, request, but not need. Okay. And Ankit, you used a question in the subject line. No. What is price of 1,000 pens and delivery time? No. Nobody's going to read the email. Okay. Okay, so next question is that you need to write an email to your friend in Canada, and you both are going to discuss about the lockdown situation because of pandemic. So what will be your subject line? Priya, you have written inquiring about a delivery of 100 pens. It seems like that you've already placed the order and now you're asking about a delivery. But no, my question was that you need to ask the quotation first before placing the order. So now you see how subject line plays the role. This subject line will not go with the question and with the email that you're going to write. No, bulk purchase, no, that's not very appropriate, Prajwala. Situation regarding lockdown in India, situation due to lockdown in India. Can you also write worried because of pandemic? Lockdown highlights. Moksh, are you giving some news report? You can write a bit of an emotional subject line also because you're writing to your friend. Can you write deeply affected by pandemic? Priya, if you will write such a big subject line, then again, you can't write such a big subject line. You can't write like 10, 12 words of subject line. Make it short. Effects of pandemic in worldwide is good. Uh, Mahima, this is good. Can you just make it a bit more emotional? Current situation of COVID, lockdown, you and I. Wanted to discuss situation of COVID-19 is good, Bhavya. All right, so you've got a fair idea about what subject lines is, how it is written. Great. Now I'm going to take a 5 minutes break and then come back and quickly discuss the and other components of subject, email writing, and then we will quickly get onto the practice session also. All right, take a 5 minutes break, and I will see you at 12:07. Back. Now we will be discussing the salutation and greetings. Okay. Now, the salutations and greetings is again very important after subject line, that how you address the person whom you are writing the email, right? Please listen to this carefully because people make this mistake a lot, and it is no. It is totally a no. Okay. Now, if I'm writing the email, I can use the words like dear, hi, and hello. Okay, but when you are writing a formal email, somebody you don't know, you use the word dear, not hello. Okay, dear, dear Miss Jones, and dear students, right? Dear parents, dear students, dear teachers. I'm addressing people, right? Dear Miss Jones. Now, if the person's name is Samitha Jones, right? I am writing an email to Smitha Jones. I will either write Dear Miss Jones, right? I will use the title Miss, Mr., Mrs., whatever it is, and then I will use a surname, and then there is comma, right? Or I will just use the first name, Dear Smitha. Am I clear? Yes. Hi and hello can also be used. It's a very formal way of saying hello, Miss Jones. Hi, Miss Jones. Right. But it also depends on your communication. If you're writing a first time email, I would suggest that you write dear. Right. Once you have a good conversation, first you have a first good conversation with a person, then you can use hi or hello. Right. But try to take the name politely, respectfully, and correctly. It is Dear Smitha or Dear Miss Jones. Am I clear? Yes, it sounds polite, it sounds appropriate. Clear? What people do is, for example, somebody you wants to write my name. It was the person will say, Dear Miss Prachi Garg. No. Either it is Dear Prachi or it is Dear Miss Garg. Right? Both cannot be there. Am I clear? Yes. So this is what salutation is about. If you don't know the person whom you're sending the email, please try to find that. Now, these things are not very difficult these days. These days we have so many professional, platforms like LinkedIn, and people are easily found on Facebooks and Twitter these days. So try to find the person whom you're writing the email. That creates a very good impression. At least you know the person who's heading it and with whom you want to have a conversation, right? And whenever there is an email that comes in my name, in any person's name, or it is a very personalized email, the other person takes it seriously, right? The person knows that this email is for me and I have to read it. Clear? But if you're writing a generic email, like dear sir, dear ma'am, or maybe anything, the other person might or might not take it seriously, right? Okay. You can also write a department's name, dear marketing department or dear human resource department, if you're talking about some particular department and you don't want to talk to any particular person, but you want to get in touch with some department. Dear sir and ma'am. Okay. To whom it may concern, it is very rare, very rare it is used, but usually we use dear ma'am or sir, right? Suppose you're this I've already told you how you write an email, right? I will just emphasize on the point, directly addressing the person you are sending the email to is always a good idea, right? Are we clear with salutation? Yes. So for example, you have to write an email. So, may your heading is good, adversely affected by COVID, you and I, and the entire world. You can add on you, I, and everyone adversely affected by COVID. Good. Okay. Now you have to write an email, formal email. The person's name is Mr. Vijayarati. So you're writing an email to Mr. Vijayarati. How will you address this person? What will be your salutation? Quick, it's very easy. Quick, quick, quick. Okay, so you will be addressing Dear Vijay or Dear Mr. Rathi. Clear? Okay, now body of the letter is again very important. Body of the email is very important. So, okay, so now we will be talking about the body of the email. Now, body of the email is very important. First, if you're writing the email for the first time, you will introduce yourself. Then you will briefly explain about the subject in the beginning, that why you're writing the email. Then you talk about, the second paragraph, the main agenda. You can organize your content into different paragraphs, like point wise. One point is every paragraph should have one point each, so that it's very crisp and it's very fast to read. uh, Check your grammar, check your spelling, and check your punctuation, right? Closing is very important. The opening is very important. Opening sets a beginning why you're writing the email. Closing is what you are expecting the other person to you're expecting the response from the other person. So your signing off should be in such a way that it makes it very clear, right? Just go through these points, and then we will be discussing this particular point when we're doing the examples. Introduce yourself, introduce your main agenda of the email, be clear and concise, divide paragraphs in email according to the points discussed. Each paragraph should have one point, right? Close and sign off the email with proper and suitable sentences. Keep a check on your use of grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Closing. Just as you want to start things off on a good note with your greetings, you also want to part well, friendly sign off. Like, you can use good, polite words like thanks, best, regards, sincerely, best wishes. Choose a closing that feels genuine to your personality and tailor it to your relationship to ensure professionalism. It totally depends on what kind of a relationship you have with the person, or what kind of a relationship you want to build with the person who is sitting, to whom you're writing the email, right? So your basically closing should be according to that. Am I clear? The body and the closing you'll understand as we just quickly go through our other things. Now, a little guide. Greetings, I've told you the way you should write. Dear Jones, hi Amit, dear Professor Jain, dear Miss Sharma, right? How you should write it. Now, introducing your topic. There are many ways of introducing your topic, but just to start with, you can use, like, this is to inform you, just to let you know, good news, bad news, I've got a news for you. You can start however you want, or you can say, I'm writing this email to share with you whatever information you want to share, right? I am only talking about the formal emails right now here. Okay. There are emails when you want to follow up with someone, or there are going to be some discussions, right? And there you can use the words like as discussed with you, to follow up with you on the meeting and discussion as required. And regarding, in regards to our conversation happened last week, I'm writing this email to ask you, what have you thought about it? Or, what are we going to do about it? What is going to be our plan of action and everything? Yes. Okay. So these are few tips that I've given you, and few phrases that you can use while you are writing the good email. right? Asking and requesting question, how you can ask a request for a question, for request for something. I would like to know if if you could just share with me the quotation of 1,000 pence. Could you please let me know if I want to place the order of 1,000 pence, then what will be the procedure? Could you confirm if my order can be delivered by tomorrow, right? Could you give me an update, or could you give me a quote of 1,000 pence? Could you give me an estimate of 1,000 pence? Could you give me an update on the delivery status of my order, right? So this is how you can ask the questions. Everything is there in your study material. This is just so that everybody can read. Now, saying thanks. Sometimes you've written the person an email and the person has responded back, and now you want to say thanks, right? So, how will you say it? Thanks for getting back to me. You can start your email with the thanks. Thanks for getting back to me. Thank you for the information. I would like to thank you for the update. Uh, I am good to see you. I'm good to see the email, to see your email. Thanks for following up on with me. So you can just start with a thank you, or somebody sent you an email, like a good email. So, and if you like it, you can just start with a thank you. Now, ending. Whenever your everything is done, you can just simply write, "I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll let you know when my trip can be planned, or when the meeting can be scheduled. Let me know when would you like to schedule the meeting. Keep me posted with the status of the project. Thanks and regards, all the best," is always something. This is something very common and works everywhere. So you have to decide the content, depending on the email that you're writing. So saying thanks, ending, starting, everything will totally depend on how you want to start and end the email. Are we clear? Any confusion so far? Dear Vijay, or hi Mr. Rathi is correct. Good. Dear Mr. Rathi, dear Vijay, dear. All right, good. Am I not audible to everyone? All right, you all got that, salutation part right. Everyone is right. All right. Now, are we clear here about the body, and about the closing and the phrases that you can use, the little help that I've given you? Okay, before I start discussing about the problems, let me just take up this example with you. Look at this email. This email is sent to again, this email is sent by a student to his professor that he was not able to, he won't be able to attend a class. So just see if this email is written properly. What are the problems of this email? There's a lot of informal language used. First, can you use an informal language with your professor? Yes or no? Second, what are the mistakes in this email and how you can correct it? Can you rewrite this email to me, the body of the email? You have to use the same content, but just frame it in a formal way. Can you do that quickly? I will not give you much time. I don't have time left. It is not formal, Amol, I know. So can you just reframe it for me? There is no subject in this one. You can write the subject also. Write down the subject. Tell me the salutation. Tell me the body of the letter. And signature, we have not discussed yet, but we will discuss the signature. Of course, no informal letter cannot be sent to a professor. Can you use the phrases that I've already explained it to you in the previous slides? Mayank, you can pick the topics yourself and just write and send it to me. Okay, Moksh, this was fine. Pooja salutation is not wrong. We are talking to a professor here, so we have to use professor for the just the way we use doctor for the doctor. For the professor, we use the word professor as it is. So, hello, Professor Smith is fine. Jasmine, it's a good attempt. Okay. So I think most of you have tried. Now, look here. I am sorry to inform you, but I will not be able to attend class today. First, instead of hi, it will be dear because we are addressing Professor Smith here. He's not a friend, he's a teacher. So you have to use the word dear. Dear Professor Smith. Professor Smith was fine. You change from dear to hello, hello to dear. I'm sorry to inform you, but I will not be attend able to attend class today because I am ill. Would it be possible for you to let me know what I have missed? Thank you for your help, and I will see you in the class on Wednesday. Sincerely, John. I told you in the end, you use the words like sincerely, thanks, regards, and then the person's name. Right now, does this thing seem okay to you? Does this look like a corrected version? Most of you have got it right and wrote the similar. So I'm glad. Do you think this is a corrected version? Right, tell me. So now there's a paragraph. Tell me this thing, that is this a corrected version? Do you think we should divide this into the paragraphs? Okay. Now, I told you earlier also, divide your paragraphs, divide your email into paragraph. I'm certainly fine, but I will not be able to class because I am ill. Can you break it from there and say, would it be possible for you to let me know uh, what I've missed? Break it there. And this put it in the next line. Thank you for your help. I will see you on class on Wednesday. Right? Yes, there is no subject because I had to discuss the body of the letter. Right? All right. Okay. Now let's discuss further. Okay, now let's quickly discuss just two more points and then we will come to the practice section. Uh, One is the common mistakes that people do while writing the email. The first part is the writing poor subject line. I've told you this. Not personalizing your greetings. Again, this is a very big no no. If you will write the person, directly, if you make it your email personalized, people will know and they will read it also. uh, Announcing too much in one message. Do not fill your emails with too much of information. Just if you have too much information, either break it down and send different emails, or break it down in such a way that it doesn't become boring. If you can attach the other documents, please do so, and you can share it. Employing ambiguous language. The language has to be very clear, right? It's just this the other way of putting it. You need to put the ambiguous language has is not supposed to be used. The language has to be very clear. Copy and pasting. Please don't copy and paste. Okay. Do not copy paste from internet. Forgetting to explain the attachments. Now you have attached some documents and you've forgotten to mention. So how do you mention about the documents? You just put the line like, please find attach the documents, or whichever documents these are, you can just specify, right? Please find attach the PPT for today's lecture, right? So always leave a line, right? Using jargon words. Don't use jargon words with unless you are very sure of the other person will understand, right? Failing to use signature. Now, what is signature? In signature, after your thanks and sincerely, you will write the person's name, full name. Okay. Yes. Designation if required, right? Company's name if applicable. Otherwise, your phone number, right? And website link if at all is there, right? So you have full name, designation. I'll just write it here clearly so that you understand how we write the signatures. Signature in any email is a must. So you write sincerely first, for example, right? Then you write the email, you write the name, full name. Then you write the title or designation. For example, you are a founder of any company, so you can write the co-founder or founder. Then your company's name, right? And phone number, right? Right. Now, out of these, there is a possibility that these two are not applicable, right? So you at least write your full name and you write your phone number. Okay, your signature should at least have your full name and your phone number. How will the person reach you if the person wants to call you? How will the person reach you directly? Leave a phone number. Okay, yes, and your full name should always be there. Do not write your first name only. If your name is Sanjay Kirk, right? Don't just write sincerely Sanjay. It has to be complete. And your phone number, so you can put it this way. Okay, so 5 times 5 and 5 times 1. I'm just telling you how you can write the phone number, right? Okay, coming back here. Having a poor email format, right? Now, what do you mean by poor email format? The poor email format means that you have missed onto the salutation past, or maybe you have missed onto, your subject line is not proper. You have forgotten to write the subject line at all, right? So now you have to follow the email properly. Make sure that your subject line is there. Make sure that there's a proper salutation, there's proper signature. These things are a must, right? Neglecting proofreading. Now, what is proofreading? Proofreading is once you've written the email, before sending, before hitting the button send, go through your email, see if there is any spelling error, if there is grammatical error, if you have mentioned about the attachments, if you have closed your email, if you have a proper beginning, there check about the punctuations. So check everything, right? Personalizing means that you are addressing the person directly whom you are sending the email, right? Am I clear? Yes. Besides this, these were a few more points that I had written. Yeah, unnecessary long emails, right? Announcing too much in one message. Don't write unnecessarily long emails. Improper use of reply all. At times, what happens is, right, you have received one email, right? And that one email was sent to 10 more people along with you, right? And when you are replying, you want to reply to the person who has sent you the email, you want to reply to the sender, but accidentally you click to reply all and your reply reaches to other 10 people also. All right, this is wrong. All right, you might want to discuss something personal, you might want to discuss something confidential. Because of your one mistake, it has reached to 10 more people in the organization. Right, so take care. Make sure whom you're sending the email. Check your to list, check your CC list, check your BCC list. Am I clear? Yes. uh, Sending to the wrong recipients, you have accidentally put the wrong email ID. Hang on, I think my screen sharing has been stopped. Right? Bad subject line, flagging every email as urgent. Do not bombard somebody's email box by saying that everything is urgent. No, don't do that. Please be fair and reasonable. If something is urgent, please mention that it's urgent. But if it is not mentioned, stop saying it's urgent. Vague requests. Please do not write vague emails. Other person might get offended and they don't want to read what you're sending at all. Right? Okay, few more points. There's some things that I mentioned in your study material. I'm just going through them. Although every point has been covered, please take care of your tone, right? When you are writing an email, please take care of your tone, what you are going to mention. Do not just vaguely send the email to anybody and everybody. Take care of the tone that is being used. Use your official ID for your work related things. That's totally up to you. If you have official ID, that's fine. Otherwise, make one official ID for your official communications. Your content should be logical and systematically written. Uh, Ensure that you're always polite. Do not be rude at emails, please. Unless you really want to be rude with somebody, don't be rude with somebody. Uh, Now, how you can make your emails effective and how emails can be effective. Emails can be effective because at the same time you can send an email to so many people, right? It can be, your one email can reach out to so many people in one click. You wish to send someone an electronic file, you can send. I told you in the attachment, you can just send anything, as many as documents you want. You can just send it to somebody over emails. It's easier to contact. Um, One basic point and one major point is that you have a written record of everything. Like when you're talking on phone, the things can be miscommunicated. The other person might feel, yeah, you must have said something else, and there is no proof of it, who said what. But on emails, there's a written record of communication. So a lot of organizations always prefer every communication to happen over email, so that there's the written record of what actually was discussed and what actually happened, right? So if something goes wrong, those emails will be checked, that how the communication was floating and what went wrong in the communication, right? Okay. Emails can be inappropriate means of conversation communication when you want to talk about something complicated and something that will take a lot of time. It's a very lengthy discussion. For that, either you call somebody up or you meet somebody. Don't send an email. If you want to solve some problem and you want to talk about something very complicated, please talk over phone or meet somebody. Don't discuss it over emails. If information is confidential or sensitive nature. Now, your confidential things are not even safe on emails. So if you want to discuss something very confidential, then don't use emails, or maybe protect your emails, because this emails ID can be easily hacked, and if somebody gets your password, then the entire information can be misused, right? Do not write an email when you're too emotional. Please do not write emotions when you're angry or too overjoyed, or you are, very emotional, feeling depressed, because you tend to, lose a grip of your language. You might write something very emotional. You might say something wrong when you're so emotional. This is a human nature. Okay, when we are angry, when we are overjoyed, we just tend to be, very emotional about things, and we just keep writing whatever we feel. But it's not a good thing for the formal communication. You might say something or you might promise something that is not possible, right? So do not write emails when you're emotional. Always sit calmly and then write your emails. Otherwise, don't rush into it at all. Clear? Yes. Are we clear till here? Is there any problem that you have related to email, like how the email should be related to format, or related to anything that you need to ask me about emails? If not, then I will start with the 15 minutes of practice session. We have like 20 minutes almost left, so we'll start with the practice session. Quickly tell me if there is something that you need to ask me, or everything is super clear. There are many examples given in your study material. Go through it. There is an exercise also given in your study material where we have written about the correct incorrect version of email and the correct version of email. Please go through those examples. That will give you an idea about how how you classify or how you categorize an email into a informal email or very vague email, and how you can make it proper email and a formal email. So go through those examples, go through all the points given in your study material. I think this chapter particular is quite self-sufficient. So once you go through it, you have a fair idea of how to use it and how to write an email. You have 1 minute. Tell me if everything is clear. If not, then I will move. If everything is clear, then I will move ahead. Maheshwari. What do you mean by no punctuations? I don't know what you're talking about. Utkar, you don't have to be very sorry for not attending the class. If somebody is not well, somebody is not well. So you can just simply say that I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend the class. You don't have to say I'm very sorry. Vanita, why do you have to say, I beg to say that I'm suffering from fever? No. You can just simply say that I'm not feeling well. Simple. You don't have to beg for that. Okay, Mahima, I'm glad everything is clear to you. Anybody else? Vinita, you can always start your email with, saying words like, for example, you want to talk about some good, some good news. You can say, I just got to hear about, about the good news. Congratulations. You want to thank someone for the email. You can say, thank you for thank you for reaching out to me. And then you can just start with whatever you want to say. If you are basically following with someone, you can just say, with regarding the last conversation that happened last week, I would like to know, have you decided on, would you like to go ahead with our proposal? I don't know whom I was answering to. Okay, you can just go through the little starter kit that I've given in the study material. It actually tells you how you can start your email and how you can end your email. Yes, of course, you can send many important emails on mail, obviously. Yes, many organizations only use Gmail. That's true. Amit, tell me what you want me to clear for you. What is the meaning of slang? So slang is a very informal, use of language. The words that are not part of any dictionary, it is just part of a common man's language, right? only people understand of the same age group, or maybe of a particular profession, but not everybody understands. So slang is a very informal use of language, right? Kind of an SMS language that you use these days. So that is slang. So, for example, you use words like friend, unfriend. Now, unfriend is no word, it is just informally used on social media. You use words like LOL, that's like laughing out loud. So, these are all, slang. These are not the proper words. Hashtag. Now, what is hashtag? These words have come from social media. These are all slangs. These are not the proper words that you use. Okay. So all kind of words that you use on social media these days, all are slang. Everything is slang. Okay. Before I end this today's session, I'm going to give you one quick question, and please send me your responses now. We are in short of time. We just have 10 minutes left. So the question is that there is a job advertisement that. Okay, I'll write a question for you so that it's easy for you to quickly draft an email. So in a newspaper or on a social on internet, you have found a job post of web content editor. Okay, and you want to apply for this email, apply for this job in so and so company. I think just let me check the company's name. Okay. You want to apply for this job, so how will you draft the email? Tell me the subject, tell me the salutation, what will be your body of email, and what will be your signature. Quick, you have only 5 minutes. You don't have to write very long emails, it's going to be very short emails since you're just applying for a job. You can briefly tell about from where you have done your graduation. You can talk about if your experience, your skills, and then do not forget to tell about the attachment of your resume. And do not again forget to tell about that you are waiting to hear from them. So I've just given you pointers, now quickly draft it. Job advertisement. Niharika, there is no word limit as such, but just don't make it a very too long email. It's very short. It is always supposed to be short. Okay, job application for assistant. Uh, Prashant, did you read about the job post? The position is web content editor. How can you write for assistant communications director? Prashant, it is not a very polite email to write to apply for a job, right? Yes, Madhvi, email is a mandatory. Yes, yes, yes. Prajwala, unfortunately, I have a last session with you. In case there's so many questions mentioned in your study material, is in case you want to send me one or two practice, emails, you can send it to me. I'll check and send it back to you. But I just have a last session with you, so I can't make you more, practice it even more. But you all have an option of picking the question from your study material, mock test papers or revision test papers, and send me. Write an email, send it to me. I'll check and send it back to you on the same email ID that I shared last time. Prashant, no, no. I mean, what you've written is fine, but it doesn't give you a very polite feel or a tone of your email. You don't say reading your September 1st job with reference to your job post that was posted on 1st April. I am, I wanted to apply for this job. I would like to apply for the position of web content editor. You can say, I think I'm suitable for this position because, and then you can talk about your experience. Thank you for your consideration. They have not considered you yet. So you don't have to write this right. You can just write, I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Prashant. And email ID is not required because email ID is there when you're sending the email. Just phone number is okay. No, applying for the job of web content editor is fine, but we're not asking for the job. Okay, good, Samya. All right, we are running out of time, so I'll just quickly share with you how this email should look like. Subject web content editor position. Dear sir and madam, because we don't know whom we are writing the email, so we can just simply use dear sir and madam. With reference to your job ad in XSX means, you can name any newspaper or any website. I would like to submit my application for the position of web content editor in your company. I graduated in communication sciences at the university of this and worked for several years in digital agency as content specialist. You can talk about your prior experience. Otherwise, you can talk about your internships. I believe my skills and experience are in the line with the requirement for the job position. So Prashant, what you were talking about, the job description and requirement, you can just put it up this way. I believe my skills and experience are in line with the requirement for the job position. I will be glad to introduce myself in an interview that will allow you to better evaluate my possible recruitment. Please find attached a copy of my resume. I look forward to hearing from you. Have you noticed the opening is with reference to your job post? You are telling the reader that I am calling you or I am applying for this position because I read so and so ad. Then in the second paragraph you're talking about yourself, that why you're fit for this job. And third line you're talking about that their resume is being attached and you're looking forward to hearing from them. Yours faithfully or sincerely, the name and the phone number of the person. Clear? All right. One more mistake that people do. They write about the attachment and they forget to attach the files. Please ensure that you have attached it and you have mentioned it. If you mentioned it, you have attached the file. If you have attached the file, you have mentioned about it. Am I clear? No, Benita, it's not dear Mr. Editor. You're not writing to a newspaper editor here. So, dear sir and ma'am, unless you know the name of the person, the HR person. Application for job by reference, with the reference, not by the reference, with the reference in the Hindustan Times. You're not depositing, you are sharing your details. I wish to apply. I'll see if I can organize one practice session with you all. If I'm not able to, then you can just send me 2 sample emails and then check it and send it back to you all. Vanshita, no, the language is not appropriate. When you can say I have good communication skills, not I have good communication. All right, everyone. So this was it. Let me know how was today's session. And I'm repeating it once again. In case you want to practice email writing, please write the emails and send it to me on the same email ID that on which you sent me the articles. If there is anyone who has not sent me the article, they can still send it to me today. I don't think